It's week 4. It's the Premier League results show. These matches were all completed on the 1st and 2nd of September. Now, my match of the week this week is the early clash on Sunday, the 2nd, in the Welsh capital. Cardiff entertained Arsenal, and Cardiff scored their first goal in the Carabao Cup defeat midweek. And Arsenal, though they secured their first win last week, beating West Ham 3-1. No surprises that the Gunners controlled possession. Ozil started, so there was no place for Mkhitaryan. He was on the bench. Lacazette was also chosen, and he was sharp and purposeful. Early on, Cech got himself in a mess and presented a gilt-edged chance to Arta, who managed to blast over. Arsenal then went ahead after a scrambled Coventry clearance led to a Xhaka corner that Mustafi met with a bullet header, and it was 1-0 after 11 minutes. Cardiff continued to hustle and scramble in midfield, and they were competitive. Lacazette hit a post, and then as we moved towards half-time, in stoppage time, across from the left, Camarasi made a yard of space and he blasted in the equaliser past Cech. After the break, Aubameyang showed his class on 62 minutes with a precise finish from just outside the box. But Cardiff again responded with resilience and grabbed a deserved equaliser on 70 minutes when Ward, with a well-placed header, squeezed it in off the post. A hectic last quarter was expected, and it did happen that way, both sides looking for the winner. But on 81 minutes, a very neat passing move by the Gunners led to Lacazette getting half a yard in the box, and his shot rocketed into the roof of the net. A late header by Morrison just went over, so Arsenal got their win. Warnock was pleased with his side's positive approach, made it clear that they were not going to park the bus. An entertaining game with mistakes, chances missed, and some quality goals. Let's move on to some other results then from Saturday. Leicester took on leaders Liverpool at the King Power, and Liverpool dominated first half, going in 2-up. Goals from Mane and Firmino. They were coasting, but then a howler from goalie Alisson, trying to be a bit too much like a Brazilian striker, and the result, an open goal, and Leicester were back in it. Well, Liverpool managed to hold on, but they were pleased to hear the final whistle. A much improved performance by the Foxes in the second half. Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Now, Chelsea maintained their 100% record, but the 2-0 scoreline with goals from Pedro and Hazard in the second half flattered them a little. Manchester City at the Etihad were far too strong for Newcastle, but they didn't really play that well. They ended up winning it 2-1. It was a celebration of 10 years at the club for Vincent Kompany and the owner, Sheikh Masood. Goals from Sterling and an absolute blockbuster from Kyle Walker on 52 did the job for City. Yedlin got the goal for Newcastle. On to Brighton and Fulham. Played out an exciting draw at the Amex. The Brighton fighting back from 2 down after Schürrle and Mitrovic had put Fulham in front. Brighton responded with a brace from Murray, and the second was a penalty on 84. Palace, without Saha and Benteke, continued to fire blanks up front, lost 2-0 to visiting Southampton. An impressive display from Mark Hughes' side, with goals from Ings on 47 and a late second from Holleberg. I can't pronounce that Scandinavian name. West Ham and Wolves. Well, the Hammers started brightly at the London Stadium. Arnautovic and Philippe Andersey were shining. But Wolves were equally attack-minded. As the match went into the second half, Wolves looked the more likely to prevail, and their sub-Traore finished off a flowing move in added time to give the visitors the win. Everton against Huddersfield. A much improved performance from the Terriers. It ended 1 each, both goals in the first half. Everton equalising Billings' 34-minute opener from Calvert-Lewin 3 minutes later. He was in for Richarlison following Richarlison's red card last week. So a much better performance, as I said. Now the other Sunday matches. Well, Watford stopped Spurs in their tracks at Vicarage Road. The first half was goalless, not a lot happening, but Spurs did open the scoring from an own goal by Decorah after the break. But the Hornets replied through Deeney on 69 and Kafka on 76. Deeney having an inspired performance as captain. The Watford defence was impressive, with Kane, Ali and the others rarely getting a half chance. So that's now 4 wins out of 4 for Watford. And so to Turf Moor. Now, Mourinho made some changes. Lindelof was in for the injured Jones. Fellaini started for Herrera, and Sanchez was up front with Lukaku. Burnley, only 72 hours after being dumped out of the Europa League by Olympiacos, looked off the pace, and Pogba, Lingard, Sanchez and Shaw stood out as United dominated possession and territory early on. And they were 2 up at the break, a brace for Lukaku. The first from a header and the second when he pounced on a mix-up following a ricochet in the Burnley defence. Into the second half, and United were much the stronger again. Pogba had a penalty saved after Rashford was upended in the box, but Hart saved it, and it was a very good save. And then 9 minutes after Rashford had been on the park, he was involved in an altercation with the ex-Red Bardsley as he tried to get past to the byline. Bardsley clearly kicked out at Rashford as they were on the floor, and Rashford reacted by brushing his forehead against Bardsley. He received a red from Moss, Bardsley a yellow. However, with 10, Burnley obviously looked a little bit more inspired. United's jittery defence managed to hold on, and for periods they looked comfortable, even with 10. So it was a deserved victory. So what about my goal of the week? Well, I'm going to give it to Kyle Walker for his blast for City's second. Okay, that's your lot.